All right, everybody. Good morning. This is IGTV, and on the phone with me right now is Limor Kessem. And as I kind of promoted earlier in the program, Limor is going to be talking about hacktivism, quite frankly, Anonymous, and why none of this is safe. So, Limor, why don't you take off from there? It's a big topic, and let's see where we can get. And I'll give you a cue right before we get to 5 minutes, and perhaps we could take it to a second segment if it's got to go longer.
Sounds good. Okay. So, Joe, today I wanted to speak about a subject we hear a lot, and we hear this title repeatedly when people say the rise of activism, and we're wondering what kind of dimensions has this gotten to, and we do hear about it a lot because there are a lot of breaches, and we've seen a lot of breaches last year as well, and we know that there are hackers who are trying to achieve some sort of a goal by doing bad things. So I want to start by something that Anonymous, who is an activist group, a very major one in the internet, they have devised some sort of a thing called a Declaration of Cyber Independence. And part of what they said that I find very important for us to understand is that they're saying you have no sovereignty where we gather, and they're turning this to governments of the world. And they say we have no elected government, nor are we likely to have one. We declare a global social space where we're building to be naturally independent of the tyrannies you seek to impose on us. And they're saying you have no moral right to rule us, nor do you possess any methods of enforcement. So this is the sort of stuff they're going on, and the sort of behavior it also springs. So basically the rise of hacktivism is a lot more than just a bunch of hackers playing power games with the world. What we're seeing here is that the internet is like a parallel world that we already know the physical world is increasingly reliant on. And we're coming to terms more and more with the fact to the extent of which the rules of the internet world are so different now than the physical world. Today, what we have is cyber world affects everything we do. It affects how we move money. It affects our privacy. It affects even our freedom. A lot of people communicate a lot of different messages, like religious messages, political messages, everything through the internet. So this is a world that's totally part of the integral part of what we do every day. And hackers from all levels now take on tasks that can cause damages on a national level or spread it out to international scope. So we're looking at people that don't have to respect any boundaries as well. The policing and governing of the internet is still very basic comparing to what we can do in the physical world. So if we have the police and the special units and the armies in the physical world and the intelligence forces, it's a lot harder to harness the same power of the legal systems on the internet when many of these most dangerous actors are able to maintain the absolute anonymity on the internet. Some of them do get exposed, but it takes long, and it's like operations of intelligence, and usually you have to get involved, with the FBI or the CIA that have to finally pull these actors out. So the policing we're doing still operates from the outside in a sense. When something major happens, and then they go and sort of pick them out. They have to go find them inside the internet, inside something very virtual, and get them out to the real world into court. So we're working reactively. We devise new laws reactively as to press charges. Most of the time, when we do end up, catching somebody like that, the charges that are pressed originate from the physical world. Like they'll charge them with fraud, organized crime, racketeering, etc. And we do need different legislation for this sort of crimes and the intentions that are behind these sort of crimes that are happening in the virtual world. Did you want me to continue at this point?
Well, this is probably a great place to begin to start to take a break, and I'm gonna throw a little commentary on the end of this because I think you really covered it very nicely. But I think we're starting to see more and more companies get involved with pushing back on this. We commented last week, Limor, about how Microsoft's Digital Crimes Unit partnered with law enforcement, not just here in the United States but around the world, to kind of bring some people to justice. And I think you're right. A lot of these people think they live in this virtual world and that they're untouchable, but they don't realize that there is a physical connection to every single internet connection, and that sooner or later their time is going to come. And law enforcement, if you push them hard enough, they will push back. And it same goes for, quite frankly, our private sector companies out there as well. So I guess it's just a matter of time before you really push these companies hard, and they will fight back.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So this is a good time to take a break, and we'll be back with more with Limor Kessem right after this message from our